ईश्वरीगं सर्वभूतानां तामिहोपह्वये श्रियं मनसः काममाकूतिं वाचः सत्यमशीमहि पशूनां रूपमन्त्रस्य मयि शीयशयतां यशः कर्दमेन प्रजाभूता मयि सम्भवकर्धमं श्रियं वासय मे कुले मातरं पद्ममालिनीम् आपः सुजन्तु स्निग्धानि चिक्ली तव समे गृहे निचदेवी मातरं श्रियं वासय मे कुले आद्रां पुष्करिणीं पुष्टिं पिङ्गलां पद्ममालिनीं चन्द्रां हिरण्यमीं लक्ष्मीजातवेदो मावः आद्रां यक्करिणीं यष्टिं सुवर्णा हेममालिनीं सूर्यां हिरण्यमीं लक्ष्मीं जातवेदो मावः तां मावः जातवेदो लक्ष्मीमनपगामिनीं यस्यां हिरण्यं प्रभूतं गावो दास्योश्वान् विन्देयं पुरुषानहं यस्विषि प्रयतो भूत्वा जुहियादाजवन्महं सूक्तं पञ्चदर्शं च श्रीकामः सततं जपेत् पद्मानने पद्म उरु पद्माक्षी पद्मशम्भवे त्वं मां भजसि पद्माक्षी येन सौख्यं लभाम्यहम् अश्वधाये गोधाये धनधाये महाधने धनं मे यशसां देवी सर्वकामांश्च देहि मे पुत्रपौत्रं धनं धान्यं हस्त्याक्षधिगवे रतं प्रजानं भवसि माता आयुष्मन्तं करोतु मां धनमग्निर्धनं वायुधनं सूर्यो धनं वसुः धनमिन्द्रो बृहस्पतिर्वरुणं धनमश्नुते वैनतेय सोमं पिबतु वृत्रः सोमं धनस्य सोमनो मह्यं ददातु सोमनः न क्रोधो न च मत्सर्यं न लोभो न शुभामति भवन्ति कृतपुण्यानां भक्तानां श्रीसूक्तं जपेत् सदा सरसी जनलये सरोजहस्ते धवलतराङ्गशूकगन्धमाल्यशोभे भगवति हरिवल्लभे मनोगे त्रिभुवनभूतकरी प्रसिद्धमह्यं विष्णुपत्नीं क्षमां देवीं माधवीं माधवप्रियं विष्णोः प्रियसखीं देवीं नमाम्यच्युतवल्लभां महालक्ष्मीश्च विद्महे विष्णुपत्नी च धीमहि तन्नो लक्ष्मी प्रचोदयात् श्रीवर्चस्यमायुश्च मारोग्यमाविधात् चौमानं महीयते धान्यं धनं पशुं बहुपुत्रलाभं शतसंवत्सरं दीर्घमायुः ऋणरोगादिदारिद्र्यपापक्षुद्धप्रमित्यवः भयशोकमनस्तापा नश्यन्तु मम सर्वदा ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ भवतु ॐ यस्छन्दसा वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽधमृता सम्बभूव समीन्द्रो मेधया स्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवाधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमर्तमा कर्णाभ्यां बाम्भूर्विक्षुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पीतः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ मेधा देवी जुषमाना न आगाध्विस्वाची भद्रा सुमनस्यमाना त्वया जुष्टा दुदुमाना दुरुक्तान् बृहद्धें विरतधे स्ववीराः त्वया जुष्टरुचिर्भवति देवी त्वया ब्रह्मा गतश्रीरुतत्वया त्वया जुःसूत्रं भिन्दते वसुसानो जुषस्रुधवनो न मेधे मेधाम इन्द्रो ददातु मेधां देवी सरस्वती मेधा मे अश्विना भुभावा दत्तां पुष्करस्रजा अप्सरासु च या मेधा गन्धर्वेषु च यन्मनः देवी मेधा सरस्वती सामा मेधा सुरभिर्जुषता स्वाहा आमा मेधा सुरभिर्विश्वरूपा हिरण्यवर्णा जगति जगम्या ऊर्ज्वस्वती पयसा पिन्वमाना सामा मेधा सुप्रतीका जुषन्तां मयि मेधां मयि प्रजा मयि अग्निस्तेजो दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजा मयि इन्द्रियं दधातु मयि मेधां मयि प्रजा मयि सूर्यो भ्राजो ददातु ॐ हंसाय विद्महे परमहंसाय धीमहि तन्नो हंस प्रचोदयात् ॐ शृणो देवी प्रवक्ष्यामि कुञ्जिका स्तोत्रमुत्तमं येन मन्त्रप्रभावेन चन्दीजापशुभो भवेत् न कवचं नर्गलास्तोत्रं कीलकं न हरस्यकं न सूक्तं नापि ध्यानं च न न्यासो न च वर्चनं कुञ्जिकापातमात्रेण दुर्गापातफलं लभेत् अतिगुह्यतरं देवी देवानामपि दुर्लभं गोपनीयं प्रवत्येन स्वयो निर्वपार्वती मारणं मोहनं वश्यं सम्भ्रणोचातिनादिकं पातमात्रेण संसिद्धयेत् कुञ्जिका स्तोत्रमुत्तमम् अथ मन्त्रः ॐ ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ॐ ग्लां हुं क्लीं झुं सः ज्वालय ज्वालय ज्वल ज्वल प्रज्वल प्रज्वल ऐं ह्रीं क्लीं चामुण्डाय विच्चे ज्वल हं सं लं शं फट् स्वाहा इति मन्त्रः नमस्ते रुद्ररूपिण्ये नमस्ते मनुमर्दिने नमः केतवहारिण्ये नमस्ते महिषादिने नमस्ते शुम्भहन्त्रीश्च निशुम्भासुरगातिनि जागृतं हि महादेवी जपं सिद्ध्यं कुरुष्व मे ऐंकारी शिष्टरूपाय ह्रींकालीपतिपालका क्लींकारी कामरूपिण्ये बीजरूपे नमोऽस्तुते चामुण्डचङ्गघातीश्च ऐंकारी वरदायिनी विच्चे चाभयदा नित्यं नमस्ते मन्त्ररूपिणी धाम धीं धुं दुर्जते पत्नीं वां भीं भूं वागिरीश्वरी क्रां क्रीं क्लूं कालिका देवी शां शिं शुं मे शपं कुरु हुं हुं हुंकाररूपिण्ये जं 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 भनादिने ब्रां ब्रीं भ्रूं भैरवी भद्रे भवान्येते नमो नमः ॐ अं कं चं टं तं पं यं शं विं धुं ऐं विं हं क्षं दिग्जाग्रहं तोत्रय तोत्रय दीप्तं कुरु कुरु स्वाहा पां पीं पूं पार्वती पूर्णं खां खीं खुं खेचरी तथा सां सिं सुं सप्तश्री दिव्या मन्त्रसिद्धिं कुरुष्व मे इदं तु गुञ्जिकास्तोत्रं मन्दजागर्ति हेतवे अभक्तेनैव दातव्यं गोपितं लक्ष्यपार्वती यस्सु कुञ्जिकया देवी हीनां सप्तशती पठे न तस्यै जायते सिद्ध्यैरन्ये रोधनं यथा इति श्रीरुद्रयामले गौरीतन्त्रे शिवपार्वती संवादे कुञ्जिकास्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम् कर्पूरनीराजनं ज्योति समर्पयामि रक्षां धारयामि ॐ ह्रीं दुं जय जय दुर्गे दुर्गे रक्षिण्ये नमः ध्यानम् ॐ सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यम्बके गौरी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते शरणागतदीनार्थाय पलित्राणपरायणे सर्वस्यातिर्हे देवी नारायणी नमोऽस्तुते यै नमो नमः प्रेम से बोलो आदिशक्ति जगदम्बिका माता की जय महालक्ष्मी माता की जय महासरस्वती माता की जय।
बोले गणपति भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय। विघ्नेश्वराय वरदाय सुरप्रियाय लंबोदराय सकलाय जगद्दिताय नागाननाय श्रुतियज्ञ विभूषिताय गौरीसुताय गणनाथ नमो नमस्ते। सर्वमंगल मांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थ साधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते। ॐ नमः शंभवे च मयो भवे च। नमः शंकराय च मयस्कराय च। नमः शिवाय च शिवतराय च। वंशी विभूषित कराननवनीरदाभात पीताम्बरादरुणबिम्बफलाधरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखारविन्द्रनेत्रं कृष्णात् पदं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने। ॐ नमश्चंडिकाय। Give him that this is Friday and our main observation is to the Devi. I'd like to dedicate these verses to our Pitras and ask Devi Ma to embrace the Atma of all our Pitras in this most sacred time of the year for Shrad Karma. We dedicate these prayers to our Pitras. Gatistvam Gatistvam Tvameka Bhavani 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 Gatistvam Gatistvam त्वमेका भवानी। न तातो न माता न बंधुर न दाता न पुत्रो न पुत्री न भृत्यो न भर्ता न जाया न विद्या न वृत्तिर्ममेव गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी। Everybody, gatisthvam gatisthvam त्वमेका भवानी gatisthvam gatisthvam त्वमेका भवानी gatisthvam gatisthvam त्वमेका भवानी gatisthvam gatisthvam त्वमेका भवानी। भवाब्धाव पारे महादुःख भीरु पपात प्रकामी प्रलोभी प्रमत्तः कुसंसार पार प्रबन्धः सदाहं गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी गतिस्त्वं गतिस्त्वं त्वमेका भवानी। Everybody, gatisthvam gatisthvam त्वमेका भवानी gatisthvam 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 त्वमेका भवानी 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 gatisthvam gatisthvam त्वमेका भवानी। ॐ जयन्ती मंगला काली भद्रकाली कपालिनी दुर्गा क्षमा शिवा धात्री स्वाहा स्वधा नमोस्तुते। जय त्वं देवी चामुंडे जय भूतारतिहारिणी जय सर्वगते देवी कालरात्रि नमोस्तुते। बोले जगदम्बिका मात की जय। Can you go downstairs and tell Bhuvan to come? His monitor is not working. बोले जगदम्बिका मात की। As we did yesterday, we do a few verses of the Madhurashtakam as we continue to sweeten our lives and ask the Lord to bless the Atma of all our Pitras. बोले श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की। अधरम मधुरम वदनम मधुरम नयनम मधुरम हसितम मधुरम adharam madhuram vadanam madhuram nayanam madhuram hasitam madhuram hridayam madhuram gamanam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram. Vachanam madhuram charitam madhuram vasanam madhuram valitam madhuram charitam madhuram brahmitam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram. Venu madhuro renu madhura panir madhura pado madhuro drityam madhuram sakhyam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram. Geetam madhuram pitham madhuram bhuktam madhuram suptam madhuram rupam madhuram tilakam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram rakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram madhuradhipaterakhilam madhuram. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Planat Kleshanashaya Govindaya Namo Namah. Govinda Govinda Hare Murari Govinda Govinda Rathangapane Govinda Govinda Mukunda Krishna Govinda Govinda Namo Namaste. प्रेम से बोलो श्री कृष्ण चंद्र भगवान की, उमापति महादेव की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, सिया भज रामचंद्र की, श्री कैलाशपति महादेव की, जगदम्बिका दुर्गा माता की जय. Jai Sitaram, everybody. Today we will have quite a few things to cover. We'd like to welcome all of you to our second session of Garud Puran Katha. Last night we left off where the cremation ceremony was done, and we talked in great deal about what a cremation is, and some of the things as well that we do at a funeral. We talked about the 5 pindas. We talked about how the process is done, what the 6th pinda means. We talked about the purification system. That is where we left off last night. And so today we will move on a little bit. Today we will talk about the after cremation, what happens. In the Hindu way, it is not rest in peace. It is not leaving everything and walking away. It is observing very ancient sacred rituals to understand that our pitras will forever live long. Today, here's what we're going to cover. We'll cover the 10-day ceremony, what the 10 pindas mean. We will talk about women. Can women do shrad? And what happens if they do it? We will talk about what happens if shrad is done for somebody and they have reincarnated already, right? So I'm performing shrad for my parents every year, but maybe they're born in some king home now. What happens to them? Then we'll talk about shrad and its enjoyment. How do you know as well that when you offer shrad, let's say I offer shrad and my father's name is Kemraj, and I say Tasmai Swadhanama, how do I know he will get it and not some other Kemraj will get it? So we'll talk about that. And also, we'll talk about panchak today as well, a little deeper meaning on panchak. So all these things we have to cover, and we will start this evening with a simple kirtan. Actually, we'll continue with a simple kirtan to Bhagwan Shri Krishna and ask his blessings on everybody. I would like to thank, of course, our shrotas for today, virtual shrotas and in-person shrotas as well. Virtually, we have today, this is from Sophia Singh and the family. They are remembering beloved husband and father, Uncle Kaur Singh, known as Uncle Raj, a former senior of this temple. You left our lives, but you will never leave our hearts. We miss you. May Bhagwan Shri Krishna bless your Atma. And this is, of course, from your loving wife, Auntie Jasodhara Kaur Singh, and all the family. Uncle Raj was an ardent devotee of this temple and was a very nice man. His family is still in contact with us. And Auntie Jasodhara, of course, whenever she can, she comes to the temple. She came for the Bhagavatam, and I was very happy to see her. And she follows us, of course, every program on YouTube. Bhagwan's blessings on you always, Mataji, and to all your children as well, for your prayers and your faith. Today as well, from Rohani Lal, this is, of course, a member of our community in honor of our late mom and grandmother, Kalauti Indar, whose birthday was on September 27th. May her Atma attain moksha. We will always cherish her beautiful memories. From Jay, Shami, Indi, Ramesh, Shanta, Rajesh, and their families. And this is, of course, Mataji, who I took to India. And we took her to Rameshwar, and she gave her last breath on the banks of Rameshwar. I know her Atma is with Paramatma. She was always a loving and kind person, and I pray that she always bless her family. Today as well, we are giving thanks our Shrota in-house, Bhaiji Omkar and his wife Darshani and family. We would like to dedicate our puja today and prayers to Omkar's mother and father, Dhanmati and Sigopal Prasad, also Sudin and Tyrone, as well as Darshani's father, Rautu Prasad, and all of our departed loved ones. This family has always, every year, taken time to give thanks to their pitras. I know this for sure because I've been their priest for so many years, and I ask today that Bhagwanji continue to bless them. May their pitras continue to bless them always. Bole Sri Umapati Mahadeva ki jai. Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. So let's join in this simple kirtan now. Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva 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 Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva Shri Krishna Govind Hare Murari He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan Vasudeva He Nath Narayan Vasudeva. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. What is the panchak? Last night we talked about the funeral. As we now discuss what is panchak. Panchak are 5 planets. There are 5 planets that when a person dies under these planets, when death happens under these planets, there are certain procedures to be done. But there is something more about panchak that we have to know. This book is very tricky because the text is not small enough or big enough. I just have to hold it very close. What it says here? Vasrantara kritam kritva dahaye dvidipurvakam mritasya panchake daha vidhivachi shrunushvameha. There are times when we say, it's panchak, or the cremation is occurring in panchak, so we have to do panchak shanti puja. Or the person died in panchak, we have to do panchak shanti puja. So wait a minute, I'm talking all the time. When do you do panchak shanti puja? Is it when the person died in panchak alone? What about the person dying panchak, but they're cremating in a regular planet now? What happens? What do? You still have to do panchak shanti puja. The Garud Puran tells us that those who die during panchak or are being cremated during panchak is very tricky. Ado kritva dhanishthadhya metatta shnapanchakam revatyam sada dushyam ashubham sarvada bhavet. Ashubham sarvada bhavet. If a person dies in panchak, the Garud Puran says that there is 5 constellations, 5 planets, from Dhanishta to Revati. From Dhanishta to Revati, 5 of them. It is always inauspicious to, what is it inauspicious for? Cremation should not be done on these days. This is the trick part of it. Because we think if you die in panchak, you do the panchak shanti puja. But if you're being cremated in panchak, it's not good. The Pandit always advise, I have always said, wait after panchak finishes, then do the cremation. You have to do as well the panchak shanti puja then. This comes from the Garud Puran. Dahastvanna nakartavyo vishada sarvajantushu najjalam diyate teshu ashubham sarvada bhavet. What happens here? It is very torturous when you do shubham, when you do any sort of shubhakarya during panchak. It is very torturous. Even water offerings should not be done in this inauspicious 5 days when a person dies. So the lesson we learn here from panchak is that if you die in panchak, you can't control when you die, unless you have the ability to. But when it is time for cremation, avoid cremating in panchak. Because, everything according to Hinduism is a science as well. It's a way of life, but it's a science. Remember last night I said, when the wedding of Bhagwan Sri Ram was going to be fixed, Guruji Vashishta called all the astrologers and they fixed an appropriate muhurta. They fix an appropriate muhurta for that to happen. We just don't do things like that. It has to be the right time. It has to be the right time. Which also brings me to the point, in this period of Pitri Paksh, what are the do's and what are the don'ts? What are the do's and which are the don'ts in this period of Pitri Paksh? And it is said in the Pretakanda, Shradham tu kartu tu yoyati Vivaham tu karto tu yaha tasya dharma kshayam yati vivahe cha valam bhavet. You can't get clearer than this. What is permitted during Pitri Paksh and what is not permitted during Pitri Paksh? What is permitted? Shrad. Now you can do your puja at home. You cannot do shubhakarya, you cannot do jandi, you can do satsang in memory of somebody, but you cannot do jandi, you know what's the funny thing? You can do Bhagavad Katha during Pitri Paksh. In India, they do Bhagavad Katha during Pitri Paksh. You know why they do Bhagavad Katha during Pitri Paksh? Because Bhagavatam is moksha dwar, Bhagavatam is mukti dwar. They do it so that their ancestors will use that Bhagavatam and gain freedom. But they tone it down, They don't do a lot of things. They don't do the usual Dhoom Dham and Krishna Janam and so on. It's very sensible. So what is done? Shrad karma is done. Your regular Nitya Sandhya puja is done. The Brahmanas can continue their japam. And so that is allowed. You can do Gita Path. You can do your regular puja in your home. What is not permitted during Pitri Paksh? Shradham kartum tu yo yati. In the month of Shrad, or in the period of Shrad, of Pitri Paksh, Shrad is very important. Vivaha tu karoti chaha. You cannot do weddings. Now, I'm not targeting this to anybody. I'm just saying that you cannot do weddings. You know why you cannot do weddings? Because in Pitri Paksh, there is no, kya Pandit ji, Pitri Paksh, there is no muhurta. There is no muhurta. Muhurta means when you're doing a wedding, there's an auspicious time to do that puja. There's no muhurta this time. So, vivaham tu karo tu chaha tasya dharma. Now, what happens? You cannot do upanayan sanskaras. You cannot do any sanskaras. Jatakarma sanskara, no kind of sanskara. Janeo sanskar, you cannot do any sanskaras. Anything that is shubham, that is supposed to bring you auspiciousness. Swasti vachan and so on, don't do it. So what happens? Tasya dharma kshayam yati vivahe cha balam bhavet. What happens when you do a sanskar in the period of Pitri Paksh? You can sin? No. It's not about sin and no sin. People don't care about that. You got to go with the book says. Tasya dharma kshayam yati. That whoever does a sanskar during Pitri Paksh, their dharma leaves them. Their dharma leaves them. Tasya dharma, tasya means to that person, dharma kshayam yati vivahe cha balam bhavet. Their strength of dharma leaves them, and that vivaha brings no shubham. It brings no auspiciousness in their lives. Wedding is a no, no, no. Janeo, no, no, no. Whether you are a Sanskrit scholar, whether you're a Sanatan practitioner, whether you are a Vedanta, whether you're Arya Samaj, we all are Hindus. We all are Hindus, and we must follow the scriptures if we are Hindus. No, not permitted. So what is permitted? What we are doing here. Garud Puran, shrad, tarpan, and so on that we're going to do on this time. So Bhagwanji tells us about Pitri Paksh, what is permitted, what is not permitted, what is the importance of panchak. So please always consult your Panditji and let them guide you accordingly. This is basic. Any Panditji who knows their salt or who wants their salt properly can really tell you about the importance of this. And now we talk about after the funeral happens, what goes on. The home goes into a period called asaucha. Asaucha means impurity. Asauchaha taprevisham graham sarve sutadhayascha sapindakaha bhave yuradashastramve yatha asauchakam khagaha. Hey Khaga, Bhagwan Vishnu is telling Garud, O bird, that after the cremation happens, for 10 days the home remains impure, asauchaha. Which means all the things you know already are truth. That home should not cook food and distribute it to people. It should not cook food and distribute it to people. Those who are practitioners of dharma, the brahmanas and so on, who are very, very sacred about their nitya karma, do not eat in those homes. But you know, these days, if you go to a funeral, a wake and you don't get food, the people who have the wake will get bad name. So you have to cook food, and the best food are at the wake houses. All of you know that. You can't stop that. I'm not saying that is wrong. People come from far, they come from work, and so they have to eat, and whatever happens, happens. But that home should not cook food in our community. We're so blessed with people who bring food from the outside and give it to those people. You are right to understand that we don't do chonke food in the home. Chonke means spicy food. Because for the next 10 days, that home will be in an act of sacredness. You don't want the spice. That's why we don't eat onion and garlic and pepper sauce and things like that when you're fasting, because it stimulates your senses. So the home should not cook food for people. Of course, they have to eat for themselves, so they eat for themselves. The home remains in asaucha, and it is prescribed what to be done, of course, after that. Now let's go on to the 10th day. In the original way of doing shrad, when people had time and ability, after the cremation is done, each day one pinda is offered. So the next day, one pinda is done. Next day, one pinda is done until the 10th day when one pinda is done then. We don't do that these days because of convenience, but I just want to let you know what the Puranas say, right? So the 10 pindas. What are the 10 pindas offered for? And we'll have to sing the Bhagwan Garud Puran to bring this knowledge to us. Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govinda Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govinda Jai Jai Radha Raman Hari Govinda Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai Gopal Jai Jai Govind Jai Jai
Gopal Jai Jai
Ho Radha Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai Radha
Raman Hari Govind Jai Jai
Bhagadvayena Deha Syatriyena Yamanugaha Triptyantu hi chaturthena Swayamapyo jivati Govinda bolo Hari Gopal Go. Everybody. Govinda bolo Hari Gopal bolo Radha Raman Hari Govinda bolo Radha Raman Hari Govinda Ahoratrestu Navabhidhe Deho Vishpamimavyujat Shirasatvam Dhena Pindena Pretasya Kriyate Tatha Hare Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. The soul, the Atma, has to begin its journey, but the body has been created, or in some cases the body is buried. So how is the Atma going to travel? Right? You have an engine is ready, engine is going to go, but the engine needs a body now to go. Engine body has been burnt up, but the engine is still there. So we now have to create a new body for that engine. That engine is the Atma. So what do? Garud Puran tells us, for 10 days we form that body called an astral body. Our Shastras tells us that we have 3 bodies: Sthula Sharir, Sukshma Sharir, and Karanya Sharir. This body is called Sthula Sharir. It's a gross body. You can touch, feel it, and so on. And then they have the Karan Sharir now, which is the casual body, the astral body. I always refer you to this movie that Marvel made. It's a full Hindu movie called Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange, the first one. Anybody here see Doctor Strange? The young people, Divya, you saw it? Gabe saw it, Amesh? All the young people saw it? Very, very good. Doctor Strange is a movie by Marvel, but it's all Hindu. There was a physician and he was a surgeon, brain surgeon, and he had some egos, and he had an accident, and to repair his body, he went to India and he learned an art, and so on and so forth. If you want to watch it, it's a very nice movie. It's an English movie. There's no God and so in there. But at one point in time, when he was injured, he went into the hospital. He was Doctor Strange. He was a doctor. So one point in time, he was injured fighting the bad guys and so on. He went into the hospital, and he went to the doctor friend that he had, and he lied on the operation table like this. The doctor friends came and saw him and watched and pounded into his heart and thing. And next thing you know, the body is lying there, but from this body, a karanya sharir came out of the body. An astral body came out of this body. And the doctor friend goes, what? What is this? You're lying there, but you come out. He says, yes, this is my astral body. And in his astral body, he's telling the doctor what to do in the surgery on his sthula sharir, on his real body. Have I confused you? Not confused you. This is the Hindu science that they have taken and make a Marvel movie, one of the highest grossing movies, Doctor Strange. His astral body came out and is telling the doctor how to do a surgery on his physical body. And when the surgery was done, he came back into that body. It's magical, but it's amazing. So now the physical body was cremated. The soul now has to get a new body. And so what we do pinda. Ahora tres tu navabheshu. We offer the 10 pindas, and the 10 pindas are for specific reasons. The first pinda forms the head of the preta. When you offer the pinda, pratame pinda, mayadi yante tavo patishtatam, it forms the head of the preta. First day, you got a head. What happened now? By the second pinda, the ears, the eyes, and the nose are formed. By the third, the neck is formed. Shoulder, arms, and chest by the fourth pinda. The navel and the genitals are formed by the fifth. Thighs and calves by the sixth. All the vital organs the seventh. The nervous system by the eighth. Teeth and hair by the ninth. And by the 10th, you see, you get brand new hair, brand new teeth. No more fake teeth, no more implants, no more fake hair, no more bald head. You get all of that back, brand new teeth, brand new hair. By the 9th and the 10th pinda, fullness is achieved. The full body is achieved. And what happens now? Dashamena, on the 10th day, Dashamena tu Purnetvam triptya shradhiryayataha madhyamam shodashi vanchim vainaste shrunutvamoha. By the 10th day, full hunger now comes into the body. And that is why on the 10th day, we do bhandara. They say you cook food and you feed the preta. The hunger starts, and now what happens? You have to start, give food and so on in certain ways to the preta. So that is why we offer the pindas on the 10th day to form on the full body of the preta back. Now let me clarify a few things. On this day, people say we cook the favorite food of the person who died. And that may mean a lot of things. You understand? That may mean a lot of things. They say, daddy's favorite food was this curry and that curry. If it's aloo curry, it's fine. Or if it's some other curry, it's not fine. Nowhere at all should we feed our pitras apavitra, impure foods. It's nowhere. You're just desecrating the most sacred ritual ever to be performed for the pitras. Nowhere does daddy want them, fry this and fry that. Shuddha bhojan, any kind of shuddha bhojan is good for the preta. And you do that on the 10th day. By that time, the family can start to eat, and they can partake of food and so on in the home. But some families, it's always advisable to keep 13 days of vrata, and that is always advisable. Now, Garudji is listening to this. He says, Prabhu, well, they're all, bodies formed now. What is the purpose of the Trayodashi Shrad? Last night, I told you about the difference in 12th day and 13th day. What is done on the 12th day? Anybody? What is done on the 12th day? Shrad, 16 pindas are done on the 12th day. And what is done on the 13th day? The Gita path. That is how Garud Puran says you should do it. And I explained to you why people don't do it. And why people don't do it? For convenience. They do everything one day for convenience. And if you're going to do everything one day for convenience, do it on the 13th day. Can be done on 12th day, but do it on the 13th day. It's always advisable to do that. Garudji says, Prabhu, thank you very much. Nice explanation. Very, very good. But I want to know who can perform the Shrad ceremony. Last night we talked about that, who can perform it. But he says, Prabhu, can women perform Shrad ceremony? And this is a big, big question we have in our Dharma, because we have always seen men performing this ceremony. So what happens now? Women. Where do women fall in this process? And so the question is asked, and Bhagwan Vishnu says, no problem, I'll answer the question. Tesham bhave satvesham samanodaka santatihi kuladyo yopi chochinne sribhi karya kriya khagaha. Before we go into there, let's all join in this very beautiful bhajan, and then we'll talk about that. O palanhare निर्गुण और न्यारे, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. Everybody, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण और न्यारे, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. हमरी उलझन सुलझाओ भगवन, हमरी उलझन सुलझाओ भगवन. तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. चंदा में तुम्हें तो भरी हो चांदनी, सूरज में उजाला तुम्हीं से. ये गगन है मगन, तुम्हें तो दिए हो इस तारे. भगवन ये जीवन तुम्हें न संवारोगे तो क्या कोई संवारे. ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण और न्यारे, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं. जो सुनो तो कहे प्रभु जी हमरी है बिनती. दुख जन को धीरज दो, हारे नहीं वो कभी दुख से. निर्बल को रक्षा दो, नहीं पाए निर्बल सुख से. भक्ति को शक्ति दो, भक्ति को शक्ति दो. जग के जो स्वामी हो, इतनी तो अर्ज सुनो. है पथ में अंधियारे, दे दो वरदान में उजियारे। ओ पालनहारे निर्गुण और न्यारे, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। हमरी उलझन सुलझावो भगवन, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं, तुमरे बिन हमरा कौन नहीं। तेषां भावे सत्त्वेषां समानोदक सन्तति, कुलध्येऽपि चोचित्रे श्रीभिकार्या क्रिया खगः। श्रीभिकार्या क्रिया खगः। Garuji says, Prabhu, I see many men performing this shrad, but in the absence of a man, can a woman perform shrad? What are the rights? What are the prescriptions, and in what cases they can? Well, Bhagavan Vishnu says, Garud, in one of my incarnations, I was Ram. Shri Ram Ram, Raghunandan Ram Rama, Shri Ram Ram Bharata Graj Ram Rama, Shri Ram Ram Rankar Kash Ram Rama, Shri Ram Ram Sharanam Bhav Ram Rama. Once I took the incarnation of Ram, and when I took the incarnation of Ram, Garud Puran specifies the whole thing here, but you know it. When I took the incarnation of Ram at the behest of my father, Grihitva Pitturayam me Ramo Banamupagatam. At the behest of my father, Banamupagatam, I went to the Banvas to fulfill my father's command. But little did my father know that when I left, without Bhagwan, Bhagwan is our breath, without Bhagwan, we cannot survive. Ram Ram Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasranam Tatulyam Ram Ram Rama. He is our prana. He is, when you chant Ram's name one time, 1,000 times you chant his name. And when I left, my father died. And when I heard my father died, I couldn't return to perform his shrad. But every month, my brother Bharat performed his shrad, but every month, while I was in the forest, I sat with my wife and I performed the Shrad ceremony for my father. But at one point, now you may ask, where in the forest, I know how you're thinking, where in the forest would Bhagwan Ram have rice to make pindas? Because what is pindas made with? Huh? What kind of rice? Basmati? Not brown rice, only white rice made with, and it has to be boiled rice, right? Not rice flour, because none of you can eat rice flour raw. So you have to make it boiled rice as thin as it feels as the skin. So you may say, where is it Prabhu Ram Bhagwan has boiled rice? Garud Puran says that Tirtham yapi samagatya Shradham pravarabdhavan susaha Phalam pavaktu jnanakya siddham rame vinidetam. Namaha. And every month he would sit with his wife Sita to perform shrad and offer pindas. But because he did not have rice, he took the phal, the fruits, they were apples or pears, he would cut them in the shape of a pinda with his arrow. You see the dedication of a son or a child to the parents for shrad. Shrad is not a plaything. It's not just you born your mom and daddy and then forget about them afterwards. Let them go on the way, me get them property. This is very serious things. That is why Sunday morning, we shouldn't have place downstairs to take off people to perform shrad. We shouldn't have, because look at the commitment of a child here to perform shrad for his father. He took the arrows and he peeled the fruits to form the shape of a circle. Phalam pavaktu gyanakya siddham rame. And he would perform the shrad every month. But one time when he was performing the shrad, he did not come. He went to get things, leaves and so on, but he wasn't coming in time. And Mata Sita, I told you this last night, I think, she took the arrows of Ram and carved the pindas and offered it herself. And when she offered it herself, a hand came out of the ground and took the pinda. That was Raja Dashrath's hand. When Ram Bhagwan did it, no hand came out. But when Sita Ma did it, the pinda came out. In my opinion, that means that the pindas are offered when a woman gives it. But that's not on record. That's what, that's what happened. Now what happens here? She offered it. On another instant, when the Lord was away, Ayata Shriyata Sarve Ye Ramena Nivikritaha Tanmuni Nagatan Tushtaha Vaidehi Janakatmaka. On another month now, when the Shrad was done, Bhagwan Ram again went, and the sages came in of the forest. Imagine, she was so blessed. They were so blessed to have the Brahmin sage. Long ago, this was a tradition. These things have meanings, and we cannot let modern values desecrate our dharma. You remember the time long ago when Shrad used to done? 5 Brahmin men have to sit down there. And before anybody eat, they always fed the Panditji and the 5 Brahmin people. Now people say, so how them greater than we, all of you equal? Of course all of you are equal. But these things have meaning. Brahmano samukamasit. When you feed the Brahman Devata in Shrad, your ancestors become happy. So imagine the Brahman's appetite, he can eat for everybody ancestors. Now you wonder why we put on weight. Huh? All the Brahmins came in the Shrad ceremony. Mata Sita felt so happy. Like in Ramji, he was away. He was gathering things. And when they came, she now went. The Shrad ceremony was finished, and she now took, and she was giving fruits and food to all of the Brahmins. She was feeding all of them. And while she was feeding all of them, Ramji came back. And when Ramji came back, what happened? At a moment, ekantu yatata sitam gyatva raghavandana vimrisha sujatam kalam idam kimati sattvaram. Mata Sita quickly, at a certain point, she covered her head and her body and she ran behind the trees. Bhagwan Sri Ram became suspicious. He said, what is this? And then after all the Brahmins were fed, he didn't have dakshina to give them, but he had food to give them. And so they went away, and Bhagwan Sri Ram went and spoke to Mother Sita. My Sita, why have you run away? Why did you leave when the sages were eating? Gateshu, Dijamukheshu, Priyam Ramo. Why did you run away? Ma Sita says, O Lord, Shrinu Tvam Natha Yudrishtaha Mama Churmihi Yadrisham. O Lord, I saw a wonder. I saw a wonder. Bhagwan says, what did you see? My Lord, when I was dressed and I was feeding the Brahmins, I saw your father. I saw your father, Raja Dashrath, my Pitashri, Raja Dashrath. I saw him sitting there, and as the Brahmanas were eating, he was feasting as well. He was in satisfaction. But Sita, you should have feel happy that you saw my father there. He says, no, Ram, no. How could I sit there? Yaham ragya pura drishta sarva bharana bhujataha. My body was impure. I was filled with perspiration. I was dressing with the bark of a tree. My hair was not combed. My sari was not fixed on my head. I felt shy and I moved away from his presence, Ram, that out of respect, your father has never seen me like this in such a dirty form, physically. Forest, her perspiration is there and so on. She was dressed in the garb of the forest people. She says, Ram, I could not stand to dress like that in front of your father. Ramji Bhagwan ne kaha tha ki, hey Sita, you are so blessed because both of us were there serving the Brahmanas and my father only revealed himself to you. This is Nari Dharma. This is the power of women. To answer the question, can a woman perform shrad? Of course a woman can perform shrad. Of course a woman can perform shrad, but here's a condition where the woman can perform the shrad. Tesham bhave savresham samano dagasantatihi kuladveshi chochinne sribhi karya kriya khaga. If the families don't have a male person to perform the shrad. For example, if a parents they don't have sons, who's going to perform the shrad? The daughter has to perform the shrad. Sribhi karya kriya khagaha. Now if a man dies, for example, a brother doesn't want to perform the shrad, or nephew doesn't want to perform the shrad, and a female wants to do it, then there is no restriction. Sribhi karya kriya khaga. O bird, khaga, o crow, o vulture, Bhagwan Vishnu is saying, Sribhi means the women. Karya, this karya, they can perform kriya khagaha. And so, the preliminary, the middling, and the final, everything they can do, from the funeral, from the ekodishta, shradha, they should do everything as the convenience sees it. So my friends, you can see there, we have never put restrictions, but these things, of course, we did not know them, and now we're bringing light. This comes directly from the book, and I'm quoting the verses because these days people want to know when you tell them something, which book is written in, and what is the verse. So what we have done so far, we talked about panchak, we talked about what is permitted in Pitri Paksh and what is not permitted in Pitri Paksh. We've talked about what happens when, or can women perform shrad? Yes, they can, and I gave you an instant where they can. And I told you about Sita Devi. Shrad is a very pure, very, very pure. You know, one of the reasons why people shave their head, women don't shave their head, men shave their head, their bodily hair, is because Shrad is such a pure work. The hair, we glorify it so much and we put all kind of thing and color and so on for it to look nice. And we are very proud of it. But when one strand of hair falls in a food, what happens? Chi. Right? Nobody wants to eat that. You don't want to eat it, but on the hair it's good, but on the food it's not good. So we shave out the head, we leave the shikhar, which is the antenna, we shave out the head so that there is less chance of impurification while Shrad is being done. Women don't do that though because, that is how it is. Now, what happens now? When you're doing the Shrad ceremony, we're not talking 12-day and 13-day yet. That's come tomorrow. But we're going to interject here a little bit. What happens now if Shrad is done, but reincarnation has occurred? Garudji says, Prabhu, you said all these people can take birth and so on. Yes. And Bhagwan Vishnu says, Garud, people take birth according to their karmas. They can turn a snake. They can turn a tree. They can also turn a big vulture like you. Garudji felt shy. He says, Prabhu, I don't know what wrong I did in my life to become a vulture. Bhagwan Vishnu says, well, you did a lot of right things because you're my Vahana. Now what happens? You're doing Shrad ceremony and you're doing the Shrad ceremony, but like I gave you, for example, both my parents passed away over 20 years ago. I'm doing Shrad. I don't know if they take rebirth again. So where's my pinda going? Well, the answer is given here in the Garud Puran. Tasyan amritam bhutva devatve pashyuta yachaha gandharve bhog rupena pashutve cha trinam bhavet shraddham hi vayu rupena nagatve pyattu nagacchati phalam bhavati pakshitve rakshasesu thamabhimaham. So you offering your shrad. Bhagwan says, Garud, tasyan manamritam bhatva. If your pitra has become a deity, so I'm going to use my mother. If my mother has become a deity and I am offering the shrad turns into nectar. The shrad becomes chanamrit and it's given to a deity. Look how beautiful that is. So my shrad becomes chanamrit, nectar, and is given to the deity. What happens now if the grass, if the ancestor, the pitra, becomes a gandharva? An animal. What happens if my mother becomes an animal? My shrad becomes grass for them to feed on. Look at that. You do tarpana and it becomes grass. If she becomes a cow, she will get more grass to eat. You understand? And what happens? What happens if they become a naga? An air if he becomes a naga? What happens if your pitra becomes a bird? Your shrad ceremony, your tarpan and your pindas, it becomes a fruit so that the bird will peck on it. This is written in the book. You see how powerful shrad ceremony is? And today we are questioning these things, right? If you become a demon, the shrad becomes the meat or the food for the demon. If there's still a preta, phalam bhavati pakshitve rakshasu sarvadara bhanushetam adisyati balayena bhogarasyatam. If they become a preta, then what happened? The tarpan becomes blood to ease their body, to give them a body. If they have turned into a human being, your shrad becomes anna, grains, to feed them. Right? And if they are still a child, it becomes the nourishing milk. The milk nourishes the child. And so this is the explanation given. So what happens to them after? We don't know if they're a bird, if they're a snake, or whatever they are. But whatever they are, when you do shrad karma, you nourish them. If they're a bird, your shrad becomes a fruit, so they peck on it. Right? This is how important shrad ceremony is. Now, Bhagwan Sri Vishnu explains this. And I'm reading this, I'm enjoying this so much. And what happens now? Tell me, Bhagwanji, how would they know that this shrad is for them? How would they know that this shrad is for them? This is a fair question. I'm sitting here and I'm saying, Om Kavyaba Dandalastripita Midam Satilam Jalam Tasme Sodha Namaha. And I have to call my dad's name. And I wrote a very long article today on my social media platform, which I'm sure most of you who are on Facebook would see, on the importance of tarpan. Tarpan is not punch panch. You understand punch panch? It's not plating. What you do at your home, you put some milk in a thali and you put tilanjali and so on, and you offer it outside. That's not tarpan, that's tilanjali. That's an offering. You should continue to do that every day. But tarpan is a very sacred, an extremely sacred part where you target the names of people and you offer this to them, right? So that was tarpan is. So Garud is a very smart vulture, he's very smart. He said, Prabhu, tell me, if somebody is performing the Shraddh ceremony and they offer, and like my previous birth, I don't know what I was, but I'm a vulture now, and how how would the shrad come to me? How would they know? Like, for example, my father, his name was Kemraj. His name was Kemraj. But so I'm saying, Pita namadheyasya idam satilam Kemraj namadheyasya sandil gotrasya idam satilam jalam tasmai swadha namaha. I said tasmai swadha namaha. Kemraj, take this. But again, fella next to me, he died in Kemraj too. So when I say Kemraj, how do I know that this tarpan is not going to his daddy? Right? You see how smart Garud is? Bhagwan Vishnu laughs. He said, Garud, you're very smart. You're a vulture, but you're very smart. So he has to explain it now like a baby to Garud, because Garud is a vulture, he can't process too much. So he says, Garud, here is what happens. Nama gotram pitranam ve praprakam havyakavyayo shradhasya matratistasnyu papakarneshu bhaktitah. First and foremost, when tarpan is done, shrad is done, nama gotrena pitram ve. Nam gotra pitran veha. Three things are very important. Your name and the name of the pitras, your gotra, which means your lineage. So because everybody don't know their lineage, there is a rule in the Hindu Sanatan Dharma, if you don't know your lineage, not caste. I gotta be careful I use the word caste too, because people don't like that. Not caste, your lineage. Lineage is your gotra. Your gotra is your lineage. If you don't know your lineage, like I am Sandil Gotra, our family, we came from the great rishi called Sandilya, which means we have to worship according to the Sandilya Gotra, pujas and so on, and you cannot marry someone who has come from the Sandilya Gotra as well. You know why you can't marry someone who comes from Sandilya Gotra if you're Sandilya Gotra? Because you are from the same bloodline, from the same family. That is why in some cases, it is difficult to have children when two people are married because, many cases, many reasons, but that's one of them. You don't marry someone from the same gotra because you came from the same bloodline, which means your family. It's how sacred the Hindu culture is. So a Sandil Gotra can marry like Garud Gotra or something like that. But many people, don't put up your hand, let me ask you, do you know what your gotra is? No. When we were little, I remember this. And my father was the man of the priest, but my mother is the one who told us what our gotra was. Because we came from our father's bloodline, obviously. That's one of the things when the Pandit was sitting to perform thing, and he would say, gotra, I just hear Sandila gotra. I thought the Pandit said, what goat? So I didn't know. I said, Mommy, what is goat? What is goat got to do with puja? He said, gotra. Right? Gotra means your lineage. So if you don't know your lineage, there is one rule in Karmakand. Karmakand means the things that we do here. Everybody who don't know their gotra, what gotra we put them under? If people don't know their gotra, unka got malum nahi hai, unka gotra kya hai? So what do we say? Kasyap gotra. Kasyap Gotra. We group all of you under Kashyap Muni. You're Kashyap Gotra. Aap Kashyap Gotra hai, Pandit ji? Huh? He come from Kashyap. So all of you who don't know their Gotra, we say, okay, you don't know, you belong to Kashyap Muni. Because Kashyap Muni had that Bardan. He says, people don't know their Gotra, bring them to me. Kashyap Muni is a descendant from a place called Kashmir, what we call Kashmir today. Kashmir is named after Kashyap. And the Kashmiri Brahmins and the Kashmiri Pandits and so on, very versed in these things. So that rule is there. So if you don't know your Gotra, say Kashyap Gotra. You belong to Kashyap Muni if you don't know your Gotra. So Bhagwan Vishnu says when Shrad is performed, Nama Gotrena Pitranam Ve Praptikam, you have to say your name, you have to say your Gotra, and you have to say that you have to remember your pitras. That is why we must know who our Nana, Nani or Aja, Aji is. Going back to three generations, Pardada, Pardadi, Parnana, Parnani. You don't have to know more than that. If you know 3, you're good enough. So if you know your parents, good. Your parents' parents, good. And your parents' parents' parents. Right? Your grandfather. That is very important for you to do when you're doing shrad ceremony. The book says, Nama Gotrena Pitrambe. So what you're doing at home is very important. Take your water, your milk, put in a thali, chola, black till, store them up and so on, some tulsi, honey and so on, put them outside, call the name. That's very important. But when you get down to the serious business of shrad and tarpan, you need a pandit. You need a pandit for that. There was a time, this time in India, the pandits are more busy than they are in Navratri. You wouldn't believe this. The pandits, you see in South India especially, now you try to get a pandit. I have a few friends in South India, you can't call them now. Them do shrad ceremonies, some whole day they're doing shrad ceremonies. They know the importance of this. But people don't do that. Our Guyanese community can't, them start pray. We start praying if somebody, if somebody dead? We can't even come on mandir. But we can do everything else. We can do everything else. On the day of the funerals, you have to see, as you have been seeing, what funerals have come down to now. What funerals have you seen the recent one where they put a boat on top of the pyre? You see that? They put a boat, they're burning the body, and they put a boat on top of the pyre in Guyana because the man loved his boat. You have not seen that? Yadu, you saw it. Sonny, you saw it. They put a boat on top of the pyre, and all of them took Black Label, big bottles of alcohol, opened it, they're throwing it on this, like this. Say, this is what is happening now. They open the bottle of alcohol, everybody got to pour them and pass it around. And the pandit have to stand up there like the mumu and can't say nothing. And if the panditji opens the mouth to say something, he's a bad guy. Now, you can't blame the guy. I mean, he didn't know that they're going to pour alcohol and all this kind of thing there. He didn't know that. I'm sure he didn't know that. Or they're going to put a boat on top of the pyre. This thing is public knowledge, right? This is what this come down to now. Shrad is sacred, sacred, sacred. Very, very sacred. So the panditji comes, the panditji sits, the panditji in your home or wherever it is. On Sunday morning, we'll do that here. You call your name, gotras, and you know the name of the Pitris. Bhagwan Vishnu says, Shradhasya matra santidhyu prapaka seva bhaktitaha. The panditji calls your name, your gotras, and your mains, your ancestors. They will receive the offerings. The mantras carry the same when they are recited with devotion and faith. Bhaktitaha. They carry the message when they are recited with faith and shraddha. So how now are they going to know? How I know that when I say Tasmai Swadhanama to my father Kemraj, it's not going to this guy's daddy Kemraj. So Bhagwan Vishnu says, Garud, here's Nana Rupamastu Jataye Tripta Goshutaha Yadahara Bhavatyene Pitro Yatraha Yonishaha. He says, Garud, you went to the earth. Have you seen cows? Garud said, yes, Prabhu, I see cows, lots of them, plenty. Say, good. He said, let me give you an example. When a cow is lost in the herd, a little calf, right? A calf is a baby cow. If a baby cow, if you have a million cows there, and that little calf is lost among that, he can't find his mommy. When he look at another mommy who has, others and so on, he would not run to that mommy. He would not run to that mother cow because the calf knows that is not the mother cow. He will run in the whole herd of cows. And when and only when the calf recognizes that that is my mommy, then he's going to run to that cow and, hug up and things like that. Another example is given. So what happens? They have a connection to those who are related. The next one, she said, Pitara Shrada Bhaktatre Vishwe Deve Sadaraha Ete Shradam Sada Bhaktya Pitrasarpanayantutaha. If you sit down here right now, right? If there are 10 children in this temple, Auntie Kamal, that name Mahendra. 10 boys in this temple named Mahendra. All 10 boys in this temple, the 10 mothers sit down right here as well. 10 mothers have 10 Mahendra in this temple. 10 Mahendra sit down there. But when Auntie Kamal would open her mouth and says Mahendra, you know who would respond? Her son would respond. Because her son knows the voice of his mother. The other one they probably look, but they wouldn't respond. The minute she says Mahendra, that Mahendra, the son, would respond to his mother. And when the other mother says, Mahendra, the other one would come as well. Bhagavan Vishnu says, Garud, this is the science of Shrad. When a person calls their father's name, Khemraj, Pitara Namadeyasa, Khemraj Namadeyasa, Tasmai Sadhanam, only my father, Khemraj, among the millions and millions of Khemraj, only my father would respond to my voice. For that reason, it is said, Shrad must be done by someone in the bloodline, because the voice will connect to the person in the bloodline. Do you understand? Everybody understand? So don't think when you sit down to perform Shrad, it's a plating, Tasmai Swada, Tasmai Swada. It used to be because we didn't know much. But Bhagavan Vishnu says, that is how you connect to your Shrad. And that is how you're connected to your ancestors. And so he says, they enjoy the fruits of the Shrad. So finally tonight, we talk about the 3 pindas that are offered. Ati, this is what you're offering on Sunday morning. For those of you who are registered and who will be here, you should come. Apiyo nijatam praptam stamti pitro natishtatihi tesham lokantarasthanam vividhainam agotrakehe. The 3 pindas given on Darbha. Darbha means kush grass. The 3 pinda offered on Darbha by the nearest relative of the deceased, it gratifies them even in their ghosthood. Now we don't know if our pitras have taken forms or not. I don't know where they are. But these pindas, they gratify them in their ghosthood. And these 3 pindas are offered to your 3 lineage. If your father or mother died, to them. Second pinda, or both sides, to your 2nd generation, and then to your Pardada and Pardadi, the 3 pindas. So when you get the blessings of your ancestors, my friends, then they will bless all of you. And to conclude tonight, the Lord says, what happens when the Shrad ceremony is done? What happens in the Shrad ceremony? Nimintrastu ye vipraha Shradha purva dine khagaha Pravishya pitarasteshu bhutva yantvi samalayam. The word vipra is used here. Vipra means the Brahmanas. I feel always bad when not bad, but I feel that I'm goating dal with the Brahmins, but they are so important in the Shrad ceremony. When the Shrad is done, Brahmano sahachanasya pitaro hyantarikshaka. The Brahmanas are fed, they are given dakshina, and when the Brahmanas eat and they receive their dakshina, that is part of the gratification of our ancestors. The Brahman, whoever be the Brahmana invited for the feast, it is said here, Pravishya pitarasteshu bhuktva yanti somalayam. This is very scary. But what happens here? It says, whoever the Brahmana is invited for the Shrad, then what happened? They enter, the Pret or the Pitras enter the body of the Brahmana. They enter the body of the Brahmana. When he eats and he's gratified, then the Pitras are happy as well. I want to tell you something that Pandits would never tell you. There are many people who don't believe in our Varnashram. Varnashram means Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shuddha. And if you don't believe in that, you don't believe in it. It means you don't believe in Sanatana Dharma. It means you're only practicing things on your whims and fancies. But this is one of the ceremonies where the Brahmanas are, because you invite the Pitras into the Brahmanas. You invite the Pitras into the Brahmanas, right? So imagine the presence there. Long ago, let's not get rid of these, these ancient things. The Brahmanas used to be there. When they're fed, when they eat only, then other people used to eat. And those things, you don't find them a lot because people are very modern. People are very modern. There's nothing wrong in being modern, right? There's nothing wrong in being modern, but there's nothing wrong as well in upholding the ancient, sacred values that we have. We take these guys for granted. Give them a little towel and dhoti. I don't think people should give Brahmins towel and dhoti anymore. I'm telling you that very honestly. I think you should give them the $5 and they'll do much more with it. We have no use for towels and we have no use for dhotis. I'm being very, very upfront with you. You ask any of the pandits that, they will not tell you that. I'm the only one that will tell you that. Give them the $5 and they'll be happy with it. How much towels are there? What are we going to do with towels? How much? One towel will last you for 6 months? Imagine if you get 100. What are you going to do with it? Do you know dhotis that pandits have? We have dhotis more than women have clothes. If I have the dhotis that I have right now, I don't need another dhoti for the rest of my life until I see a new design. But that's my secret. I don't need a dhoti or a kurta for the rest of my life. No pandits would ever need a dhoti and kurta. But we still give them because we feel that we'll get blessings. Give people things that they can use. And this, of course, you may think that I'm telling you this because I'm involved. I'm telling you, this is how it is. You want to give any Brahmana something, give them dakshina instead. Give them dakshina instead. If you want to give grains, there's a lot of people who need food. I mean, look at this Brahmana. Does he need food? He's pretty healthy, right? It is nice to bring all this dal and all this, green dal and everything. But those were given in a time when the pandits, they depend on that to eat. That's what they had. They didn't work. That's what their villages would, whatever they gave, they would sustain, feed their families and so on. It's a little different now. Go to the food bank, cook some food. Saturday we have a food drive happening here. Everybody coming, you should bring food. Uncooked food, that is, vegetarian, tin and canned food and things like that. You should bring it. Let there be an abundance of that thing here so the youths can go to the women's shelter and they can distribute that food to everyone who needs it. Uncooked food. They cook and however they want to, right? They need the food. But this is you won't get these things publicly from anybody. And this broadcast is seen by thousands and thousands of people. And, I would like to give you my honest feedback on certain things. Tomorrow when you come, we will talk about 12:13, and then we'll talk about the journey of the soul, because it is important to have a knowledge of what happens after the 13th day. The soul starts to travel now. It is going to discover the 16 cities, and that is as a result of the 16 pindas that we offer. And then we'll talk about Varshik Shrad, the one-year ceremony, and Sapindi Karmas, and so on. It's very important for you to understand. You will not remember everything. I know some of you are trying to remember. It's good to remember everything, but you will not, because you don't do this every day. It's not what you do every day. You have your jobs to go back to and everything like that. This is the work of the pandits. So, but it is good for you to understand it. You remember telling last night? It is easier for you when you come here and sit and you digest these things. When it is time now to execute and the Panditji gives the instructions, it is better at that time. You know, although you don't remember the details, you know that you have heard this before and you will not have questions. So, that is the end of tonight's katha. I want to thank all of you for coming and encourage you to come tomorrow evening. And very importantly, for you to come Sunday morning. If you want to participate in the Shrad Karma, you must go online and you have to register, because we have to prepare the downstairs for the number of people coming. If you don't register and you show up, it will be difficult for us to accommodate you. You go on the website, bhawanishankarmandir.com/puja, you will see it there, and you book your spot, and what happens. And when you come here 6:30, hopefully we can start 6:30 on the dot. Please come and let us do the puja. It's very important. What you have to bring when you're coming, you have to bring, an email would have been sent when you send your registration, but you have to bring a thali to do your tarpan. You have to bring some milk inside a bottle. If you mix it already, it's good, with some honey and don't put the tillas yet. Don't mix it with the tillas yet, just bring it just like that. And you have to purchase flowers from the gift shop, but you need to order it. We are bringing in a lot of white flowers, so it doesn't make sense for you to go buy flowers elsewhere when you can pick it up right here. You need to bring flowers, you need to bring your thali, you need to bring a few utensils that is probably included in the email. So that's what you need to do. Come, and we're making the pindas and having the little Ganesha and so ready for everybody who's here. We hope to see all of you. Bole Shri Krishna Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Now all of you are invited to bring prasad up to Bhagwanji. And if you haven't brought prasad, you can bring a flower or just come and take the darshan of the Lord Bhagwan. Ram 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 Hai Ram प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। पाप कते दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम। पाप कते दुख मिटे लेत राम नाम। भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम नाम। भव समुद्र सुखद नाव एक राम नाम। श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। मुदित मन से कहो राम 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 श्री राम राम राम। परम शांति सुख निधान नित्य राम नाम, परम शांति सुख निधान नित्य राम नाम, निराधार को आधार एक राम नाम, निराधार को आधार एक राम नाम। श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम, राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। परम गोप्य परम इष्ट मंत्र राम नाम, परम गोप्य परम इष्ट मंत्र राम नाम, संत हृदय सदा वसत एक राम नाम, संत हृदय सदा वसत एक राम नाम। श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम, राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम, राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। मात पिता बंधु सखा सब ही राम नाम, मात पिता बंधु सखा सब ही राम नाम। भक्त जनन जीवन धन एक राम नाम, भक्त जनन जीवन धन एक राम नाम। श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम, राम राम राम, श्री राम राम राम। प्रेम मुदित मन से कहो राम राम राम, श्री 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 राम। Okay. We have an announcement from the youth group regarding the food drive. This is the first food drive arranged by the children, the youths of the temple. So we know you're going to bring out lots of things, and people who are not here especially, they come from Scarborough and all that, come on out.
Jai Sitaram, during this period of Pitri Paksh, the youth group is organizing a food drive. We will be accepting vegetarian and non-perishable items throughout the week until Sunday, September 29th at 1 p.m. Please see any member of the youth group if you have any questions.
Thank you. Thanks again to our sponsors this evening, to Mataji Kalauti, who we have lost many years ago, to Uncle Kuwar Singh, his family has reached out as well, and to Darshani and Onkar, who are here with us this evening. Bhagwan's blessings on all these families and to their ancestors as well. Let us stand for Aarti, please. यानि कानि च पापानि जन्मान्तरकृतानि च तानि सर्वाणि नश्यन्तु प्रदक्षिणां पदे पदे। ॐ जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे जय जगदीश हरे स्वामी जय जगदीश हरे। भक्त जनों के संकट दास जनों के संकट क्षण में दूर करे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। जो ध्यावे फल पावे दुख बिन से मन का स्वामी दुख बिन से मन का। सुख संपत्ति घर आए सुख संपत्ति घर आवे कष्ट मिटे तन का। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। मात पिता तुम मेरे शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी हो स्वामी शरण गहूँ मैं किसकी। तुम बिन और न दूजा प्रभु बिन और न दूजा आस करूँ मैं जिसकी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम पूर्ण परमात्मा तुम अंतर्यामी स्वामी तुम अंतर्यामी। पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर पार ब्रह्म परमेश्वर तुम सबके स्वामी। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम करुणा के सागर तुम पालन करता हो स्वामी तुम पालन करता। मैं मूरख हलकामी मैं सेवक तुम स्वामी कृपा करो भरता। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। तुम हो एक गोचर सबके प्राणपति हो स्वामी सबके प्राणपति। किस विध मिलो दया में किस विध मिलो दया में तुमको मैं कुमति। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। दीन बंधु दुख हरता ठाकुर तुम मेरे हो स्वामी रक्षक तुम मेरे। अपने हाथ उठावो अपने शरण लगावो द्वार पर तेरे। ओम जय जगदीश। विषय विकार मिटावो पाप हरो देवा स्वामी कष्ट हरो देवा। श्रद्धा भक्ति बढ़ावो श्रद्धा प्रेम बढ़ावो संतन की सेवा। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। ओम जय जगदीश हरे। कर्पूर गौरम करुणावतारम संसार सारम भुजगेन्द्रहारम सदा वसंतम हृदयारविंदे भवं भवानी सहितं नमामि। कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृति स्वभावात् करोमि यद्यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि। ओम गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। बोले भवानी शंकर भगवान की, पवन सुत हनुमान की, सियावर रामचंद्र की, श्री लक्ष्मी नारायण भगवान की।